Hey Rob, welcome to GAC RMHC Golf Classic. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your address position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you here in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. Spine's straight, not a slight tilt. Legs come down into maybe a little bit too much of a bent position, but at least they're unlocked. Arms are hanging down out in front of you. Club works out to the ball. So pretty decent posture here in association with some pretty good balance. Also taking a look at your alignment. We can see your feet aiming in this direction here. Carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera would have an appearance to converge. And with that philosophy in mind, we can sort of see that you're set up right at the edge of the fairway where it's meeting the corner of that water. At this point in time, we can do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. And I've got some color-coded lines up on the screen just to use as a visual reference. See what Jordan, as he initiates his takeaway, creates good shoulder rotation, bring the arms and hands back as well as the club. And we want to see the club coming back along the red line on plane. On the early stages of the golf swing, we also want to start to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, whereby we're going to transition the club head from being below and in front of our hands to getting that club head above and behind our hands. It's a very important move in the golf swing. From here, we're now going to work the club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we either want to have the left arm of the club situated on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue, as we can see with Jordan Spieth. At the top of the backswing, we also want to create full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable right leg. Let's go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway here. So sort of pick your hands up and out there a little bit, turn in your shoulders so everything's starting to recover there a little bit, even though you had a little bit of an outsider pickup move. Hands are working around, shoulders are turning. A little stiff-wristed with the golf club through to here. Got to start to see some wrist hinge occur, whereby we're getting that club head above and behind the hands. So still a little stiff-wristed through there with the forearms, and hopefully we definitely, so still pretty stiff with those forearms, starting to get a little bit of wrist hinge through there, so nice recovery. As we work this to the top now, we end up working the arms back into a position that get a little bit, perhaps a little bit upright. You've turned your shoulders, nice stable right side, maintaining your posture and your axis. Your arms do have a tendency of sort of compressing and breaking down. That just means your right forearm's compressing to the bicep, the triceps compressing behind your back, and that's causing your left arm to fold down. So ideally you'd like to maintain a little bit more arm extension, and also try and get your arms just ever so slightly a little bit more in this direction. See how your left arm's a little bit above the blue line right now. I like to see your left arm not only just maybe make it back to blue like Jordan, but maybe get it even underneath that, get it in between the yellow and blue V zone. I like to see you a little bit more, set a little bit more shallow to help you come into the ball from on plane and return that golf club back to red, because I have a feeling we're going to come over the top from here. Okay, so with Jordan Spieth, as we start our downswing, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left. We want to fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target, unwind our core and fire our hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure we're bringing the golf club from wherever we set it within that blue-yellow V zone. We want to make sure the golf club's returning back to red, exactly what we see with Jordan Spieth here. And this right here is the single most important aspect of a golf swing, and it's getting that golf club to return back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind our hands coming into the hitting zone, and this is what's going to allow him to create a lot of power in his golf swing, let alone also his ability to hit the ball straight, due to the fact that, again, the club has returned back to plane, okay, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. With you being compressed with your arms and a little steep, I'm concerned here that we're going to get the over-the-top move, which we do right there. We're throwing the hands out away and out in front of us. Once we do that, we can try and fight to keep that club head above and behind the hands, but we're just not gonna win that battle. So at this point in time, we can see that the club head is here. The club is definitely not returning back to plane, and that club is just going to continue to fall further and further out in front of us here. You're fighting to keep the club head above and behind there, because you know that's where power comes from. But let's look at the next frame. The club's going to get stuck way outside the golf ball here. Okay, so if we go ahead and connect the dots, we can get a pretty good visual as to what that descending plane looked like, and just how steep it was, and how much over the top it is coming into the ball, and therefore is going to influence that swing path. Okay, so with Jordan, again, we can see the club return back to plane here. That would have been your frame right here, and then his club comes into the ball directly from this red line, so directly from on plane. And as I already mentioned, this is what produces straight golf shots in accordance to our alignment. Lastly, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. Okay, so seeing that the downswing planes are vastly different, we can take a look at the path of the club now. We can see Jordan's club is inside the ball, expanding out to make contact. Club then moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is stuck outside the ball, dropping down and across to make contact. So we can see the path at which that golf club traveled on. So very simply put, if we square the club face up to that path, we would obviously pull the golf shot in this direction. And the nice thing about that is that's your compensation. I had mentioned to you that you were set up to sort of hit the ball maybe a little too far to the right. Obviously, subconscious brain is saying, hey, we got to get the ball back to the center of the fairway. So you're swinging that golf club from an outside to inside swing path to try and pull the ball down red and towards that blue flag. Problems arises if that club face happens to over release. Not only do we pull the ball, but then we end up hitting a little bit of a pull draw or a pull hook. If we under release the club, then we end up sort of hitting some kind of a pull or block slice. And if we time it properly, the nice thing is that ball will just stay as a pull straight shot, or just a subtle pull fade, or a subtle pull draw, and neither one of those are going to hurt you at all. So again, end result of the golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. Club face squares up, follows red, under releases follows yellow, and if we time it properly, it'll follow blue and sort of stay on line. Through impact here, your right heel's off the ground, looks great. Let's watch the continued activity through to the finish. Whoop, a little fast there. I wanted to just do that in slow motion. So you originally start getting some pretty good footwork where your right heel gets off the ground. What you want to do now is you want to fully get up on the toe of your right foot and get your weight to your left side. You don't want to step back onto the sole of your right foot, okay? We can see here with Jordan Spieth the continued activity in his right foot, where he gets up off his right heel, gets up on the toe, stands on his left side, and that allows him to get through to a good finish. So you definitely want to learn to create that proper footwork. You already have it happening, so you just need to complete it. So just get up on that toe and get the weight to the left side, get fully up off your right heel, show us the spikes of that shoe, because you're right there, and then all of a sudden you decide that you're going to fall back onto your right foot there. Okay. Overall, there's some nice athletic qualities with your golf swing. I like how your hands work. Your hands come back and they fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You've got decent enough footwork that you start to get to a finish, but then your finish looks a bit indifferent just because you fall back on your right side and don't complete that finishing position. Sorry, something just happened with my computer there. You don't complete your finish just because you're not finishing off that proper footwork. Okay. From here, again, as we said, alignment's just a little bit right. Now you're making a compensation where we come over the top, and this is the big factor right here. This over the top move, swing the golf club from out to in, really wreaks a lot of havoc on the golf game. Because again, if we square the face, it's going too far left. Under release, it's going too far right. And at this point in time, I actually do want to look at your club face and sort of see what happened through impact here. So club face definitely squares up. Actually de-loft the club a little. You actually hit the ball too low on the face as well, so we're not going to get any trajectory. We're going to hit that ball low end left because the club face is squaring up. And we're hitting it low on the face. So we definitely, when we swing through with a driver, We want to definitely get that ball higher up on the face for sure to increase the launch angle. But again, as we can see, the end result of that golf shot is very much dictated based on the timing of the club face. How much does it release versus how much does it not? And that'll be indicative of what ends up happening to your golf ball there. Okay? Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. I'd be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved in any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to touch base. I'd be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a fantastic day, and hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.